Well, welcome back to another episode of Sports and Nonsense Podcast, where ya boys are TikTok viral.
I don't know if we are viral. Just one video went viral.
One video went viral, and
we gained 10 followers.
10, 12 followers from it, but it got like almost 50,000 views. And if anyone is here from the TikTok video, Thank you for sharing it. If you shared it, thank you for liking it, commenting it. I know a couple people commented on it, and like there was definitely more like funny comments rather than like hateful bandwagon comments.
You know, one thing I'm glad someone noticed before you continue is, and if you're listening to this podcast now because you found the video, but your username on TikTok would be Stets_S_55. The only person I'm noticing who noticed that you had a jersey change in the middle of the video.
Two. There's actually, because I remember all the comments, because like unlike other TikTokers, I was trying to comment to as many people as I could because it was the first one that we've ever gone viral. There was two people that noticed,
and I only noticed
that my jersey change. I mean, there's 150 comments on there now. It's hard to scroll through them.
I've responded to quite a few of them.
You responded to a few of them. Sorry, that was my TikTok. That
I also responded to a few of them as like my actual personal account.
I saw that. You also
jeering
you changed your username too.
Yeah, because my students were like, "What's your TikTok username?" So I changed it to "You'll never find me."
How do they know? Did you tell them that we were? They were
like, "Why's your phone going crazy?" And I was like, "I'm just going viral. Don't mind me." And they were like, "What?" But yeah, it's funny because I watched it a couple of times, obviously, and I was like, "Did he change his jersey?" And then that was before we went viral. And then it went viral, and I noticed somebody noticed it. So good observational skills for the two of you who noticed.
It was Scotty Flash. It was 8 hours ago today. So Scotty Flash, if you're listening, he's one of the people that noticed. He said the jersey changed with the laughing emoji. And then it was those
are the best comments. The ones with like who just point out those little funny things.
Well, it's so I did that on purpose because it was the perfect time to do that flip where it was just like, but Brady's gone, and then it flips to me back, and I'm wearing the Brady Bucks jersey. And
the best part was like our conversation about that was so like you posted that TikTok at the perfect time because we had just talked about that.
Yep.
So now you gotta make a TikTok about like when I asked what as an adult do you need to switch, because I'm curious what some of those people are going to say. Yeah, because of all the bandwagon comments you got, like you didn't suffer through the early 2000s. I'm sorry, the mid to late 90s.
Yeah,
and,
I commented on that too. Somebody said, "Oh, blah blah blah, bandwagon," and I'm like, I mean, I watched my team.
Listen, you may be in the 90s. You may be a fraud, but you're not a bandwagon fan. I would never describe you as a bandwagon. You're a fraud, but I would never describe you as a bandwagon fan.
We've had this discussion last week too, where you said that you liked the team because there was a player on the team. I like the Bucks because Brady's on the Bucks now.
What team do I like because there's a player on the team?
Well, you said that you were a Eagles fan because one of the players.
When I was a kid, when I was like 9. Like when it's okay.
It's the same concept that I think of like when I watched the
to be
Braves.
Fair though,
when I watched the Braves win the World Series this year, it was good for Freddie Freeman. I like Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's a good player and he deserves a championship, and he finally got one. I'm glad to see him get one. Brady's just a little bit different because I want him to see him win as many as he can at the age that he's at.
To be fair, I'm like that with basketball, I guess. I mean, I used to like just be a big LeBron fan, so whatever team he was on, I would want to win. But I just don't watch it enough anymore to care.
Right.
So I just whoever wins, good for them.
But it's not like you're a big basketball fan.
No.
Like you're not. No. I don't even think you watch.
No, but you know what? There's not a single player like on my team and the Giants that I would sit here and say, "Oh, I'd root for them if they left the team." Like I'd always be happy to see former Giants do well, but I don't think I'll ever be like.
If Eli left the Giants, you wouldn't have? No,
because Eli, to me, at that point in his career, much like Tom Brady, was like, "You're a Giant, dude. This is who you are." same thing. No. I mean, the first time it happened to me, a player that I really liked, it was Steve Smith, who turned out to be a wash, but like he was a Giant player. He was on the Super Bowl team, and he was a starting receiver for like 4 or 5 years, and they ended up not getting a deal done, and he left to go play for the Eagles, which obviously is our division rival. And I didn't want anything. I didn't like wish like death threats on him. I didn't like. I didn't
Steve
like
Smiths.
Yeah, there was Steve Smith, Carolina. We had a Steve Smith as well.
Oh.
That's what I mean. He didn't do nothing after he left New York, like most people. But he went to the Eagles, and like I didn't like wish for him to get hurt, but I just definitely didn't like want him to do well over there. You know,
I still have my Wes Welker jersey when he left for the Broncos. I still have it in my closet.
The Patriots one.
Yep.
I mean, I still have Giants players who left. You know, like I still have a Jeremy Shockey jersey, and he left to play for the Saints. But you know, like. I don't know. There's yet to be a Giants player that I love enough that I would buy their jersey on another team. Even Eli, I always thought if Eli stayed, he was going to go play for New Orleans because Drew Brees might retire. You know, and he's from New Orleans. And I remember having that thought, like, oh, would I cheer for New Orleans and Eli? And I think the answer I kept thinking to myself was, no, I wouldn't want them to do well because that's my guy.
Even if they were in a different conference, because I know the Saints are in the same conference as the Giants.
I don't think so, but it's never happened.
Right.
You know, like even with Eli, I love Eli. I don't care what he says. He's a Hall of Famer.
It's never really happened. This is kind of like a first for pretty much everybody.
Brett Favre, fan might have.
And there was people that were commenting that were like, it broke my heart when Brett Favre left Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers came up.
At least he went to the Jets.
And I was like,
but then he went to the Vikings.
He got traded to the Jets. That's different. So he got traded.
But then he signed.
But then he signed with the Vikings.
Like, that's like shot to the heart, man.
Yeah. And then I think didn't he beat like the Green Bay in like on a last second Hail Mary or
all
something?
the time? Yeah. He beat him a couple times
that game.
Because Green Bay wasn't like that good yet with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I just I don't know. It doesn't happen that often, so I guess you're right. But like even like Barkley, and I love Barkley. He's my favorite Giant right now. Like he's not going to get re-signed, I don't think. And when he doesn't, I'm not going to buy a jersey for someone else. I'm just going to say, oh, well, I hope you do well somewhere else, but you stunk as a Giant.
And somebody wanted to see my pop wall, so I
saw. Yeah. You got to show. You make a TikTok.
I was like, I'll have to make a TikTok of that one day when I get.
If anyone wants to see my Star Wars figure collection, it's right about here.
Yeah, under the W train.
Right, next to the W train.
So I mean, like again, anyone who came from the TikTok that kind of took off and shot to the moon, thank you for sharing it, liking it, commenting, viewing it, thinking it's funny. That's a really good it's one of my favorite shows, and it's one of my favorite scenes from that show. And I was really surprised that not like, because I commented on that too. I was like, there are so many good sports TikTokers on this app, and I'm shocked that nobody thought to put that with that audio.
Well, you're the first then.
Yeah. So I was like, oh well, I guess I gotta get picked up. Like I gotta get seen by those those like famous blue check mark people.
You know that TikTok that you and I had made with the like no one insults the turtles one, and what I had made before. So actually, if you click on the sound, you have the third video on that sound. So you're right up there. Yeah. Anyway, it was the TikTok I had made before that one about with the Simpsons with Marge and the I think it's isotopes or whatever.
Yeah. Hurry up and lose.
Yeah.
So we can get out of here.
And I don't know if it's just the algorithm because I used the sound, but like I made that video, right? And then like for the next 2 or 3 days, I saw people making the same video with that sound, and I was like,
for the Giants?
Yeah. For the Giants in particular. And I was like, is it just because I used the sound and the Giants just fit the sound so well as coincidence? Or like, am I getting shafted here?
And was it like, were they getting like thousands of views? And
likes and they're on my For You page.
And we're just here like,
am I the copycat? It was like that meme with Principal Flanders or whatever. He's like, am I the copycat?
Yeah.
No, it's them who are wrong. Like
Principal Flanders?
With the principal in The Simpsons, what's his name?
Skinner.
Ned Flanders. Skinner, yeah.
Who's Flanders? Is hi diddly ho, neighbor.
Diddly.
Hi diddly ho, neighborino. So I mean, we have to make another TikTok because I want to see if that one's going to blow up too. Because if that's the case, then our entire page has hit the algorithm, and it's just
somehow.
And then
and then you hit the right hash. It all happened like over the course
it
of
was
an hour.
9 days later.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I made the video and it was 9 days later.
In fact, I remember looking at the night before thinking like, oh, he's got like 1,500 views. Like, that's one of our higher videos. Like, it's not Mass Effect related. And I was like, oh, good for him.
The night before I was like
the next morning you were like, hey, I think we're going viral.
That the night before, the day before, I was looking into it and I'm like, how do I boost a video? Because you can promote a video.
Yeah, you got to pay money.
But you have to pay. It's like $40 to boost a video. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay $40 to boost a video.
I got to shave this beard. I'm looking kind of fat.
So I canceled it. And then like 12 hours later, it was just, and I was like, what's happening? Like,
I
was in school and I'm like checking my phone. And everyone's like, why are you looking at your phone so much? And I'm like,
that's funny that we're both at school, just in different roles.
I'm student, you're
different
teacher,
different roles. Like,
so, and people were,
I gotta shave this thing, man.
People were commenting on my pop wall. People were commenting on my flag that I have.
I saw the flag one. Yeah, your stupid ass flag.
Yeah. My 28-3.
Your get over it, you won flag,
So I mean, it was a funny video, and I'm very appreciative of everyone who shared it, liked it, commented, followed, all the 12 people, the new followers that we got from the video.
We have 7 reviews on iTunes. 7.
What?
One of them is me, for sure.
Right.
So we got 6, I guess. And they're all 5 stars. They're all 5 stars. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to look at, or if we just have 7 really good friends who all went on and
I'll have to look at the iTunes analytics, because every time I've looked at the iTunes analytics, it tells me that there's not enough meat to support doing an analytics. So I'll have to look at it.
So if you search Sports and Nonsense on iTunes, we're not even like the first one that pops up, which is stupid. That's because we're the only one named Sports and Nonsense with more than 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why, but we're number 4 if under podcast, which again, we're the only one named Sports and Nonsense with 2 episodes. But if you pull it up, it brings it to my app. So then I was just curious. I'm like, is it ratings? And it said 5.5 out of 5. And it says 7 ratings
immediately for me. It's the second one there.
Mine's 4. So it has, for me, it says 5 out of 5 out of 7 ratings. And they're all 5 because there's no bars on the 4, 3, 2, or 1 star. So if you left a rating, I appreciate it.
Nice. 5 out of 5.
And I can't view them.
I have 7 ratings on
me too. So I said 5 out of 5 stars, 7 ratings.
Interesting.
One of them's me, but
one of you. So there's 8 now. So
one of them was you.
Yeah.
So I just no one's written anything. It's just star, which is fine.
No one's written anything on it.
No, it's like just leaving a plain Google review, a nice 5 out of 5 star, which still is 5 star. It's better than 1 star. These 2 bozos don't know what they're talking about. But I've also noticed that we're coming up on our 100th episode. So I just hope that you have a little confetti cannon.
I'm gonna have to look into it, because I know I started adding the Filmmaker's Basement podcast.
We're at 72 total right now.
72 total, but there are Filmmaker's Basements included into those. So I'll figure out how many Filmmaker's Basements there are, and we'll subtract it from that, and then we'll figure out when our 100th episode will be. Maybe it'll be like Super Bowl week. Wouldn't that be crazy? If our 100,
I think that's going to work out though.
No,
to get a couple more episodes.
We do one a week, and I think we need 40, 35 more or something. So, but anyway, now that we've talked about that for a little bit, we should probably get into the meat of why people listen instead of listening to us talk about behind the scenes stuff. But, so last week, how did we do picks wise?
I don't know. I forgot
too.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, I know for a fact you picked the Saints and I picked the Falcons.
I also picked the Giants.
Did you?
Yeah, remember? Because you were like, "Are you sure?" Because the Raiders are on a bye, and I was like, "I just got." I think you still won.
So we split, but I think you picked a lower point total Monday night.
I picked 36.
Yeah, and I picked 42, and it was like 51 or something.
Stupid game anyway.
Yeah.
I guess I think you won.
Hooray! I won by default.
You know what though? Like, it is nice that, like, even though you win, we usually only differ on like 2 or 3 of them. So like, we're the fact that is like what it comes down to. Like, it means that we're picking pretty good. you know, like, we're pretty consistent.
I'm still wondering if you should just be my bookie and because sports betting isn't allowed down here.
I know. By the way, I got Baltimore tonight. The game starts soon.
I have them too.
I just wanted to say it on the record before.
On the record before 10 minutes from now. So yeah, New York and Indianapolis, the Jets versus Indianapolis. I mean, PJ Walker, isn't that the one of the? Oh no, Josh Johnson. What's that? Who the hell are these Jets quarterbacks?
Sounds like the name of like a Confederate general.
Who the hell are these Jets quarterbacks that are coming out? Josh Johnson, Mike White, huh?
What happened to Joe Flacco?
Like, Mike White went down. How come Joe Flacco didn't come in the game? No, they put Josh Johnson in. I don't get it. But Jonathan Taylor had a really good game. He had 172 yards. So I was playing against him in fantasy, so that made me tremble in my boots Thursday night. But I had Carson Wentz, so he actually matched.
Ooh, shiver me timbers.
Yeah, shiver me timbers. I had Carson Wentz, and he matched the same point total, which was nice. And I also started James Conner, who we'll get to later.
Carson, I had the term ankles at my injury report. Wentz.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, that was a blowout of blowouts. And
I picked Cincinnati.
I did too. And after, because I'm like, oh, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be gone. This team is going to be just bad now. Nope. They're better without that cancer on their team.
Good luck, LA, man.
Yeah. So
good luck with that.
We didn't talk about it last week because we got too caught up in talking about Aaron Rodgers and Henry Ruggs and Squid Game. Yeah. But OBJ was released from the Browns last week, and
I texted my buddy and I said, "Hey, any chance the Giants pick up a waiver claim?" And he said, "You got a better chance of getting signed by the Red Sox to play left field than OBJ has to come back to New York."
Well, the thing is like he was good in his early years, and I think it was because
Eli Manning, because he hasn't had the years he had with New York at Eli Manning, he hasn't even come close to reciprocating.
But I don't even think it was Eli Manning. I think it was all Tom Coughlin. I think Tom Coughlin's kept him in line. That kind of old coach. And then once you did not watch a single Giants game then, because Tom Coughlin didn't do shit for OBJ, because the Josh Norman game where he got like 6 personal fouls because he couldn't stop fighting Josh Norman. Yeah.
Like at the end of the game,
when Ben McAdoo was a Giants?
No, it was Tom Coughlin.
Coach.
No, it was Tom Coughlin.
Remember that?
Yes,
Tool?
That disgusting tool bag of a man. And I remember after the game, a reporter had asked Tom, like, "Hey, so what do you know? Like, OBJ got like 3 personal fouls," and Tom Coughlin was like, "Oh, I didn't know he had those." And it's like, what? No, he didn't do shit for OBJ. OBJ hasn't had anything since.
A lot of people were saying
Eli
that
Manning.
Belichick would be good for OBJ because he'd be able to keep him in line.
It
was the same concept as Tom Coughlin when he was in his early years.
My buddy texted me, and had texted me, and he said, "Don't be shocked if Belichick nabs him." Then he ended up visiting with the Patriots, and he was texting me. He was like, "Here it comes." And then when he left the building, it was like, "Oh yeah, he'd be a Patriot then." Because basically, I'm sure what happened was Belichick said, "Hey, here's the money. This is how we do around here. Either fall in line or get out." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll get out."
I didn't want him. I didn't want him or anywhere around Mac Jones after what happened with him and Baker Mayfield, because you have this young green quarterback, this rookie.
No, you don't need that.
You're gonna bring in this drama queen or like cancer into your locker room who's just gonna complain about his targets and receptions. No. Give him to Matt Stafford. Give him to Sean McVay.
Here's the big difference too between the Manning and Mayfield is he started doing the stomping his feet shit and like temper tantrum shit in the sideline when he wouldn't get throwing the ball. And
I remember he knocked against the field goal,
kicking net.
Yeah,
hit him at the face. But Manning on camera was seen multiple times in the huddle and in the sideline, essentially telling him like, calm the fuck down. Because Manning didn't give a shit. Manning throws to you if you're open and if he can get the ball there. Manning don't care who you are,
Well, apparently Odell was open, and that's why Mayfield wasn't throwing.
Yeah, but Mayfield, the difference between Mayfield and Manning is Mayfield talks a big game on social media, but I've never seen that man once screaming at one of his receivers or anybody for pulling that shit.
Well, he flips people off on live TV, so I'm
Manning,
yeah,
or Mayfield. Oh, Manning. Manning's level of give a fuck has reached zero when he won his first Super Bowl, and frankly, that's okay. Like that dude hasn't given a shit since 2007.
He's just on TV on ESPN2, just
like. Yeah, oh yeah. And did you see when him and Marshawn Lynch were on with Peyton Manning? That was hysterical. Like. They're talking about drinking bourbon and shit. Like, yeah. I'm like, I mean, it's TV. It's football. It's not like adults don't watch it. But I'm just like, man, these two guys have so much money and so much power in the NFL that they're just like, what are you going to do?
I think they canceled the Manning cast.
Why?
It wasn't on TV this past week.
Monday?
Yeah.
Yes, it was when they had Lynch on.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
That was the Giants Monday night.
Yeah, this past week was Bears, Pittsburgh.
I don't think they didn't cancel it. I promise you they didn't.
I don't think I don't know, because it wasn't on when I went to look.
It could have been a scheduling conflict too.
Maybe.
I'll Google right now. I didn't hear anything about it being canceled.
So then Cleveland goes out and kicks the crap out of Cincinnati. So that was that game. The next one you're probably extremely excited about. For some reason, Dallas decided to no-show for the first 3.5 quarters of their game against Denver.
Good.
And they were losing 30-0.
No, I'm sorry. They had the Manning cast.
Oh, it wasn't on the NFL app, and it usually
is. This article right here, actually published today, says Peyton apologized for Manning cast curse that they put on Josh Allen.
Well, that was 2 nights. That was 2 weeks ago. Because 2 weeks ago, Josh Allen was on the Manning cast and he lost to the Jacksonville, which we'll get to there. Yeah. We'll get there. Yes. So yeah, Denver kicked the crap out of Dallas. So Dallas now is 2 losses on the year. The Tank Bowl, I think it's the second Tank Bowl of the season. Houston and Miami playing against each other. 1-win squads. Well, go ahead.
This article says Manning cast won't appear in week 9 because where did it go? Come on, you open the article and it goes away. They're only doing 10 out of 17, so it's just not.
So
gotcha. There you go.
Okay. Well,
it's because they have received. It's just they have received positive.
There's 18 weeks now.
Yes. This was published back on the 8th. So, yeah.
So, Jacoby Brissett goes out and wins against Houston, which was from my understanding.
Is Houston going to win a game this year?
They have won a game this year already.
Who'd they beat?
I think they won the first week of the season, right? Against Jacksonville?
If that's who they played, then yes, because Jacksonville got their first win only last week, right?
Jacksonville only got their first win in London against the Miami. So this game was kind of just like a turnover game because the rushing leader was Myles Gaskin at 34 yards. The receiving leader was Jalen Waddle at 83. So that's kind of a lot. And then Jacoby Brissett only had 244 passing yards. But this game ended 17-9, and it was just a shit show in all opinion.
The Texans might only win one game this year.
Yeah, probably. They're going to be fighting for that number. That's what I was saying. They're going to be fighting for that number 1 seed. Houston, Miami, or depending on if Detroit decides to win a game this year. I don't know if they will, but let's see. Atlanta goes out and beats New Orleans, and you had New Orleans. We discussed this already. I had Atlanta. Because I did not think Trevor Siemian was going to win, and Atlanta almost blew that game.
I know.
Again.
This 18-point lead.
Yeah. God.
Luckily, somebody blew it.
Luckily, Cordell Patterson comes along and catches a ball down the sideline to put him in field goal range, and Young Ho Koo is a pretty good kicker. Let's see. Buffalo loses to Jacksonville in Jacksonville, 9-6.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me the week before, hey, put the under on the Buffalo Jacksonville game, with Jacksonville winning, I would have told you, you're smoking crack.
Yeah. That was the game that was the game.
Jacksonville to win and take the under.
And neither one of the teams scored 10 points.
Yeah.
That was the game that when you and I had gotten to it, you were like, okay, next Bills at Jacksonville. I went, please, next. It was, you want to talk about a better chance of being getting signed by the Red Sox. That was pretty much where I was feeling about that one.
Yeah. So not a good game for either team. They were just kind of trying to give it away to each other. And just history was made in this game.
Josh Allen was sacked by Josh Allen.
Josh Allen was sacked by Josh Allen. Josh Allen was also intercepted by Josh Allen. And Josh Allen lost a fumble that was recovered by Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So it was the trifecta. Like we thought.
That's a hat trick. That's a hat trick.
I thought when Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen, and this is going to get wicked confusing, but yeah.
Just the bottle of whiskey shows up next to me. Just
Always Sunny Charlie Day meme where he's got the billboard, like all those things on the billboard, just like it's crazy eyes. So when Jacksonville's Josh Allen sacked Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen, I thought that was the only thing that was going to happen, and everyone on the CBS broadcast said too. They were like, "Oh, it's first time in history that the same player got the player that had the same name as the other player got sacked." And then he intercepted the ball, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like another first. And then he recovered a fumble. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
we're still doing this?
What's happening?
Are we really doing this?
All I need to say is Josh Allen, Jacksonville Josh Allen needs to go buy a lottery ticket the next day. If he didn't, he should have.
You could have had the quad.
Yeah. So Minnesota loses to Baltimore in overtime again. Minnesota loses another overtime game on a field goal.
Are they going to fire Mike Zimmer?
Are we? Please say, please don't.
Are they going to fire Mike Zimmer anytime soon?
They need to. Like he's just so bad.
I think he's been just good enough that they're not going to fire him. But then, like the same thing with Jason Garrett in Dallas. Like you've been just good enough to keep your job, but you've been just bad enough to fucking suck at it. He's oh my, like it's just awful. Like you had a huge lead in that game and he blew it away. I couldn't believe it. Also got the most punchable face quarterback in the NFL too.
True. The Chargers beat out the Eagles. They almost blew that game away too. They only won by 3. So good on
game right there.
Good on the Chargers to win a game and come back from losing 2 in a row. One of the more uglier games that this week was full of ugly games, like so bad. Kansas City beats Green Bay 13-7, and it's not weird. Like anyone's fault but Aaron Rodgers. And we talked about Aaron Rodgers last week, so if you haven't listened to that,
Jordan Love did in fact not ball out.
Nope, he did not. And if he did, he would have won that game because Kansas City could not do anything.
Kansas City's gonna be lucky if they make the AFC Championship game this year.
They're gonna be lucky to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that too. They will, but
because the Patriots are gonna start to get the ball rolling, and they're gonna be playing some not good teams.
They've already got. Patriots are gonna win the AFC East.
I don't think we're gonna go that far. We're only a half a game out of the AFC East lead, but we played Buffalo twice.
I have a TikTok brewing for you guys. Yeah, brewing. It's got Thanos, so you guys will be happy.
Okay.
I'll do it myself.
Arizona kicks.
Or no, the other one. The other one, you couldn't live with your own failure.
Oh, where did that bring you? Back to me.
And then just back to the patient, back to me.
Arizona kicks the crap out of San Francisco in a game that I thought San Francisco might win.
I almost picked San Fran too.
San Francisco was getting George Kittle back this week, and George Kittle actually had the most.
San Francisco is like
that game.
the most uncomfortable dark horse team.
Yeah.
Where, like, they're losing games that they should win or like should at least be in.
And
they're not.
Kyler Murray and, first of all, San Francisco, you let
A 9-year-old?
No, what is his name? Colt McCoy.
I know
Colt
very well.
Destroy your team this past week. Like,
yes,
22 for 26.
Yeah, Colt's good. Colt's good for one of those a year. So now that he's blown his load in one game, he's
249 yards and a touchdown. And then James Conner rushed because James Conner came in the game majority of the game because Edmonds got hurt in the game. So James Conner rushes for 21 yards, 21 carries, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and adds a third receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
James Conner,
if you had him starting on fantasy this week.
Yeah, and I sure did in my flex.
like, whoo!
Really glad I did.
Getting a little sticky in here.
Mm-hmm. Sunday Night Football, Tennessee beats Los Angeles, which maybe this is kind of which is why Los Angeles signs, which I don't know. Why are you signing? You have the best receiver in the league right now in Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, right now.
Of all people.
Yeah. The way he's playing, yeah.
And you also have probably it's the best 1-2 duo, I think, in football. It's Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods.
But now you got OBJ.
Now you're adding OBJ to that mix. Those poor other receivers, other than those 3.
Now you've got somebody who will bitch and moan that he's not getting the ball more.
And like,
it's like, you know what? It's like when Philadelphia made the dream team and had all these personalities together and they won like 6 games.
Let me ask you this now. With Matt Stafford being on the Los Angeles Rams, is this going to be a similar scenario to Stafford and Megatron now? With Stafford to OBJ?
I wouldn't have been with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's been playing way better than OBJ.
Cooper Kupp is small.
So OBJ's not big either. He's like 5'11".
No.
Oh yes. I'm taller than OBJ. Look it up. Trust me. OBJ's not that tall.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yes,
okay.
I told you,
so it's not it's not a
No, he's like 5'11".
Is he a slot receiver?
No, he's an outside guy. He can play the slot. No, but he's an outside guy.
He's just small.
Yeah, he's tiny. He
plays big.
He talks like he's big too, but like he what he needs is a quarterback who can get the ball to him in exactly the right spot. He's not a guy, he'll go up and get it. He will. But like if that ball is not where it needs to be, he will not catch it. And you have to. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He is very good, but his game is the short game, and he doesn't want it to be the short game. He wants it to be. He wants to get those deep verticals, and so, every receiver does. But like, his game's the short game. The slants, the quick post, the curl, the hook and goes, and the double moves, and all that stuff. But like, he just. I don't know if it's going to work out. It's Los Angeles, a bunch of personalities in that team. He's got a good quarterback. Matt Stafford is a good quarterback. Matt Stafford will get him the ball, but the question is, can Matt Stafford give him the ball enough? Because when he was in New York, he was the guy. Yeah. There was no one else to throw to. It was him and Evan Ingram, and Evan Ingram couldn't catch a cold. And Manning always. If Manning had a receiver he could trust who was good, Manning, of course, would favor that receiver. As any quarterback does. But you got to spread the ball around. You can't just lock eyes with OBJ. And that's what he wants. He wants you to just lock eyes with him and throw it to him even when he's covered, because he thinks he can catch it, which is great as a receiver to have confidence. But like, this is the NFL. So anyway, I don't know why at this point, if you don't at least make it to the Super Bowl, Los Angeles, you blew it.
They're putting all their eggs in this basket because they've got Matt Stafford now.
They got no draft picks until
they've got no draft picks. They've got Von Miller that is probably coming in this week. Odell Beckham will probably be next week. So if they don't win this year, they have to win this year.
Did you see but the GM got a coffee cup from his kids, and it just says "fuck them picks" on it.
Oh my God.
Which is hysterical, F them picks.
Chicago played Pittsburgh Monday Night Football in another ugly game that both teams were. Pittsburgh was attempting to lose, which they should have won. I was going to win my pool on this game as long as they went under 48 points, so I lost. They could not stop scoring in the fourth quarter, and all I wanted them to do was not score anymore. That's it. So, yeah.
Pittsburgh. I picked Pittsburgh.
So did I. I'm just saying I would have won my pool if they would have not scored so many points total. And then finally we get to the two teams that we care the most about, which is why Rich changed his background this week, because we both got wins. And this week's win for me was probably like Rich's win when he played Carolina, and like my win last week against the Chargers is probably more of like where he's at with the Giants winning this week against the Raiders. The Raiders might be like everything might be catching up with them. Because did you see the other thing that came out this week with the Raiders? There's more stuff.
What happened now?
So obviously we know about John Gruden. Obviously we know about Henry Ruggs. There was something else that happened this week in the news with the Raiders, and it had to do with Damon Arnett. He was a 2020 first round pick, and the Raiders cut him because of a social media post. The social media post was painful decision on. Oh, it was a painful decision to release him. Go away, ad. There have been a series of bad decisions over the last year or so, but we can't stand for the video of Damon with a gun threatening to take a life.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah.
So the Raiders just can't get out of their own way. They can't get out of their own way.
The hell is going on?
I mean, with Gruden, that had stuff that was coming out 10 years ago. They got Henry Ruggs situation, which did you also hear what the defense is trying to say about Henry Ruggs' case?
No. That
the firefighters didn't show up fast enough to put out the fire.
Oh, so that's okay.
That's their defense.
That's why. So, yeah, him being
going 155 and going 150 miles an hour and slamming into the back of them. No, that's not what killed her.
That's not the issue here. It's the fire.
The fire, because that car would have caught fire anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
she's lucky he didn't catch fire to sitting there.
Yeah. So, and then we got this Damon Arnett who's waving a gun around in a social media post, threatening to kill someone. Like,
tomato. What a tomato, man!
Can we make smart? Can we make smart decisions?
Guy's a tomato. He's a vegetable. Guy's a tomato.
I don't know what's going on with the Raiders, but I think it's finally catching up with them.
It's that loss of the Giants syndrome.
And now they've lost the Giants, and now
it's over. It's all going to come crashing down now.
I don't know if they're going to recover. I mean, who do they play?
I told you this was.
They play Kansas City this week.
Yeah, it ain't going to get much better.
So this will be proof.
You know what though? This will be the game if they win.
If they win this game against Kansas City at home,
I'm not picking them, but they'll win this game.
Yeah, if they win this week against Kansas City at home, they it might, we'll see. But if they lose, it's all downhill. So, and then my team, the Patriots, beat Carolina, which wasn't too difficult. Bill Belichick seems to just have Sam Darnold's phone number, and it's just anytime he plays Sam Darnold, he just poops on him. So, that's just what Bill Belichick does to Sam Darnold. And I was surprised that Sam Darnold came into this game after
he's in his head, man. He's in his head.
He sees more. He's seeing more ghosts this week is what happened. And I'm shocked that they didn't put PJ Walker in, because PJ Walker had such a good game against.
Who's the quarterback down there now, right?
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing I was going to bring up. Carolina has just signed Cam Newton again.
Speaking of Thanos, could not live with your own failure. Jesus.
Yeah.
that bring you?
I was shocked to see that, but I mean, Sam Darnold's just not cutting it.
He's not a starting quarterback. He's not. He's not a starting quarterback. He's a backup quarterback. You know, I feel bad. He's a good guy, but like, he's not a starting quarterback.
You know, who's the kid in New York now? Zach Wilson. I
was thinking Mike Wilson for some reason, but like,
he's a backup quarterback too.
Well, it's his rookie year. I'll give him another year to see how that goes.
They might,
because by that logic, so Trevor Lawrence.
Mike White.
Well, they should. He got the hot hand. You always go with the hot hand. But
there's a thing though, like rookie quarterbacks. When was the last time a rookie quarterback had a good season in the NFL in their first rookie year?
Rookie year when they played.
Yeah. Who was the last?
Kyler Murray had a pretty good rookie year.
Did he?
Yeah, he had pretty good. I think he won Rookie of the Year that year too. Baker Mayfield had a pretty solid rookie year. Pretty solid. There's always at least one who does really well. Right now, it's Mac Jones.
It is
for the rookie class this year. It's Mac Jones.
And
I'm going to die on the hill that I told you he was going to be good way back when he was in college, and you told me I was an idiot.
Kyler Murray in his rookie season was 5-10-1.
I don't care about the winning percentage for a rookie. I want to see how they perform.
64.4 completion percentage, 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks.
It's not bad for a rookie, especially on that team at the time.
His quarterback rating was 57.7 over the course of the.
That's not that good.
Over the course of the year.
Either way.
Let's
see. At least he's had better seasons. My quarterback hasn't had as good a season since his rookie year.
Right.
So there's that.
Let's see. Baker's rookie season was in 2018.
Yeah.
He went 6-7. He had a completion percentage of 63.8. 3,700 yards, just like Murray. 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
About the same ratio.
Quarterback rating 51.2.
Yeah. I mean, they're rookies, rookie quarterbacks. They're not going to expect a whole lot.
Oh, that's ESPN's. Wait, why is there two? I don't know. So, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't remember like the last time a rookie quarterback had a good season. Like, or like a.
I think you need to break it down to what's good for a rookie.
So, like, the way that the Patrick Mahomes did it, he sits for a year, he comes in his sophomore year, and he's amazing. Like, why can't we just do that with all rookie quarterbacks?
Because it's a win now league.
Well, they don't win now, rookie quarterbacks. Like, so, like,
doesn't always work. Because the Giants waited 6 weeks, I guess. It doesn't really count.
Why crush their confidence in their first year?
Because you've only got 5 years now. Because when you're drafted in the first round, you get that 5 years. And teams want to know within that first few years, do we have the guy? Because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The salary cap, it's cheaper. The Eagles did it with Carson Wentz. You know, and the Chiefs did it with Pat Mahomes. He didn't get that big contract until he made it. I think it was before his second Super Bowl, or was it after the second one? I don't remember, but you know, it's cheaper.
Oh yeah. Well, we're up against it, I think, depending on what time we started. We talked about TikTok for a while.
Yeah, we started at like 7:30.
Yeah, so we're up against it. So we'll go through. We already discussed what our first pick of the night was, which that game hasn't started yet.
2 minutes.
It's actually starting in like 2 minutes. So we both picked Baltimore though. So stretch. So we'll go down the list of teams that we've picked. And starting in the 1:00 games, we have Buffalo visiting MetLife Stadium against the Jets.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo too. I'm not gonna say I'm not happy about it, but after they lost to the Jaguars,
I'm happy about
it. You never know. You're
always gonna blow one.
Mike White might become Rookie of the Year if keeps playing the way he's playing. Is he gonna
be like Mike Glennon? Just a song.
Mike
White.
Yeah, Mike White. Tampa is at Washington in a rematch of the wild card weekend playoffs from last year. Tampa. Me too. Atlanta's at Dallas.
I
think Dallas is going to have a rebound game, and it's a good one against Atlanta. So I'm having Dallas.
Okay, they'll be down like 15 points, and then they'll come back. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, because Atlanta will blow the lead.
Yeah.
New Orleans is visiting the Titans.
I gotta go with Tennessee.
I gotta. They just beat the Rams.
Yeah, I have to go with Tennessee.
It's
Feeling
Tennessee.
good. Feeling good. A little AP action going on.
There's going to be one game that we are going to differ on, and I totally forgot I picked this team. Jacksonville is visiting Indianapolis.
Did you pick Jacksonville?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm picking Indianapolis.
I'm picking
so I was
Indianapolis.
Like, you went with Jacksonville?
No. I picked Indianapolis.
I got scared.
Detroit is visiting Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
yep. We might differ here. Cleveland is visiting the Patriots, New England.
Ooh, it's a tough one.
That's the tough one of the week, I think.
Oh, because Cleveland just won a pretty decisive victory, too. That was a beautiful victory without OBJ.
I know.
Who's the quarterback? Is Baker back yet?
Yeah, Baker played last week.
Did he? Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's the tough one of the week.
I want to pick the Patriots, but my gut says Cleveland, so I'm going to go with Cleveland because you got to listen to your gut there.
So I picked New England.
Yeah.
And I picked New England because of their defense. Their defense is probably going to rock hopefully Cleveland's offense.
Where is it?
It's in New England.
Oh my God. I forgot where it was.
I said Cleveland's visiting New Patriots.
I didn't listen. I heard when you said Cleveland's visiting Patriots, all I heard was Cleveland's visiting Cleveland. Oh, it's in Gillette though. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, Sunday at 1.
What's the weather tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Saturday, or tomorrow is Friday. Sorry.
You see what this day off is doing to me? These damn veterans in their day. Sunday, it's gonna be a little chilly willy.
It doesn't matter. I know, cold in Ohio.
Yeah, but it's still New England. That wind. Hang on, I'm gonna fart. Oh
God, I should have made you lock in first.
You should have. I'll stick with Cleveland. I'll be a man and stick with Cleveland.
I mean, we might split because Minnesota is in Los Angeles against the Chargers.
I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, I took the Vikings. So
I guess we're gonna have to pick a tiebreaker then.
Yeah, more than likely.
I can see because I can see New England winning. Like I said, my gut just says Cleveland, but I can totally see New England winning that game because you got momentum. You can't underestimate. You can never underestimate momentum.
I think Minnesota needs a win, and I think they can.
Well, they do need. They do need a win.
Get it against the Chargers.
Well, you know what? It's in LA, which would basically be a Minnesota home game.
Every game in LA is an opposing team home game.
Which is odd because they're good. You know, like I'm surprised. But anyway, I'll stick with the Chargers.
Well, it's because they're not in San Diego.
That was so stupid when they moved. Anyway, I'll stick with the Chargers.
Carolina is visiting Arizona.
I'll take Arizona.
Yeah, same. I still don't trust Cam Newton. Philadelphia.
He got signed today. He ain't playing.
Oh yeah, true. He might not play. Philadelphia is visiting Denver, and that. Oh no, it doesn't. Philadelphia is visiting Denver.
It's a tough one because Philly sucks. So does Denver. But Denver did just beat the shit out of Dallas. But that might have been just a spark in the pan. I'm going to go with Philly.
I have Denver. So we've differed on 3 now.
Again, that's the one that I'm not happy about, if it makes you feel any better. I'm not happy about picking Philly. But
I'm not happy about picking Minnesota. So
you shouldn't be.
Seattle is...
I love how each week you and I pick a pick. Like, I'm not happy about it. Even though we made the pick, we obviously could have picked the other team and been less not happy about it.
Seattle is at Green Bay.
Is Russ back yet?
Yeah, I was hoping.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's coming back. I was hoping you weren't gonna.
Then I'll take Seattle.
Yeah, I'm taking Seattle. I was hoping you were gonna be like, oh, Green Bay.
Honestly, even if Russell Wilson wasn't back, I'm not sure I trust Green Bay right now either.
That's true. Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be back in team facilities Saturday, but I don't think he's gonna be ready to play.
Yeah.
So Kansas City for the Sunday night football game, Kansas City is at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, like I said, this is the kind of game the Raiders will end up winning, but I'm going to pick Kansas City.
Same. So I have Kansas City. And then Monday night football, the Rams face off against the Niners.
Rams, you better prove it.
And Rams, I've got Rams too. And Von Miller will be in. OBJ won't, but Von Miller will be in. So we've differed on 3. Cleveland, New England.
We don't need a tiebreaker then.
Minnesota, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, Denver. So no tiebreaker this week. And we'll see what happens. I just want to win 1 week. I'm in second place in this league. Like, that's how good.
Is it the one at the work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all the picks that I use in this platform are the picks from this pool.
Yeah.
So I'm in second place right now because I'm like 2 games out from first place. Because one guy had a 13-week win 1 week. He like picked. I think he almost ran the table, or he did. So that wraps up this week's episode of Sports and Nonsense. Our executive producer, Jimmy Lucars, is still looking for donations to his project that he's doing, that he's going to try to submit to some film festivals. It's about police. It's called Police 3, and it's about the military and how mental health affects military members. And being that it is Veterans Day today that we are recording, that's something that Rich and I both have experience with.
As I take a deep sniffle.
Yeah. So yeah. Being that it is Veterans Day, a happy Veterans Day to any veteran who is listening to the podcast. I know this goes out on Sunday morning, but last week was military appreciation for the NFL. I don't know if they're doing it this week too, because
they're also in November, don't they?
Maybe. I don't know. I know last week was like they were definitely like it was all about military appreciation. So maybe they're going to do it this week too, because Veterans Day was only like 2 days before the games. So maybe
I thought they do it all the whole month of November.
They might. I don't remember. Well, yeah, last week was the first week for it.
I sent you a text. You can get it later. It's
okay.
A picture. It's a meme.
Gotcha.
A meme.
A meme. Why did I download it? Oh, I downloaded it.
Now you got it forever.
Apple phone.
You have it forever. Now it's in the cloud.
Yeah. So
where does it go? I don't know, but it's up there. No one understands the cloud.
So a happy Veterans Day. I hope you went out and got all the free meals that you could fit into your car without wasting all the gas.
If I forget about that, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings today because we were just there, and I wanted to get my wings, and she gives me the check, and like they charged me for the wings, and I was like, hey, shouldn't these be like, I hate using the word free, but I was like, shouldn't these be like free?
Shouldn't these be heavily discounted?
Yeah, shouldn't these be like 100% off? Like, and you know what she tells me? She goes, "Oh, when we swipe the card, it'll come off." And I was like, "That's not how a POS system works, sweetheart."
You should have looked at her and been like, "Ma'am, I used to work for Buffalo Wild Wings, and I know for a fact that that's not how that works."
Ma'am, I may have been in the military, but I do have 2 degrees, okay? So I'm not a total airhead.
Did they take them off?
Yeah, they did. So anyway,
she was just covering her own ass because she forgot.
Right. To make a long story longer, right? We're driving home. I said the same. I was like, why would that button even exist? like the button, like it said like Veterans Day, like chicken, know. And I was like, why wouldn't that button just put it on the ticket but have a 0? Why is that even worth the monetary value? Just put it in
because
0.
They have to take it out of their inventory.
Yeah, but if you put the button. It still puts it on the check. It just has 0 as
the
price. So I'm like, why would you even attach $9.49 to 49 cents? That means like that's some math getting done. That's some profit margins getting calculated there. And I'm like, why even? What are you? Just hit the button.
The Buffalo Wild Wings down here were so busy that I just didn't even bother. So I was
pretty busy. They were pretty busy for us too.
I don't want to go.
But it was just the way she said it. I was like, that's not how a POS system works.
I went and got barbecue and a smoothie instead.
And
I got a pizza.
There you go. We got 15% off at Dave and Buster's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I got 2 free meal tickets from Texas Roadhouse because there's 2 Texas Roadhouses within 10 minutes of each other from me. So
I went the last time I went to Texas Roadhouse for a Veterans Day meal. I had to get it to go, and they were super nice about it because typically they want you to eat in, which is fine. And as the girl was walking up to give it to me, she tripped and dropped my steak everywhere. And the mashed potatoes go everywhere. And if she didn't fall, she just like dropped, and like obviously inertia is a thing.
Yeah, we talked about that last week too. If you didn't listen last week, we talked about momentum, inertia, and the laws of gravity.
Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
And we both look down at it and look back up and make eye contact. And she looks at me like she thought I was gonna just like charge her and like bayonet strike her, just like screaming with like a bayonet like in her gut. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "It's fine." I was like, 10 seconds. I was like, "It's fine, 10-second rule, right?" And she's like, "Oh my God, no, it's fine. I'll get you a new." And I was like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it." Like,
listen, I've dropped stuff in the sand in the desert and picked it back up.
Pick it back up.
Yeah, 10-second rule.
I've had a pocket hot dog before. Like you just do what you gotta do. Like. I love that story, man. People say, why do you call it a pocket hot dog? I was like, well, because it came from a pocket.
Yeah.
Isn't
like, that picture that you had?
Yeah, me sitting against the MRAP eating a hot dog,
just like, shoving a hot dog down your throat while everyone else is firing.
If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die full. Damn it, like yeah. Because I sat down to eat my hot dog, and
so the last 2 years, what Texas Roadhouse has done, so for next year, is all you got to do is just drive up to the restaurant and they hand you a ticket. Yeah, that is good for a free meal anytime between now and like May.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's easier.
So you know what?
It's probably easier for them too.
They do it. They do it between. They do it between like 11 and 2.
Right?
Yeah, because they're not open. They're not open early, so they can do it like at lunchtime.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But that helps because then like the restaurant isn't so packed.
Yeah,
because everyone goes to Texas Roadhouse on Veterans Day.
Well, that's because they get the free meal. It's one thing like to get the discounts, another to get like a free meal. You know, like it's because you and I went one year. I remember before you left. Actually, I think you and I went to the bar up there and we sat at the bar.
Yeah, we did
because you were flirting with the bartender.
I was.
And then I came up and was like your boyfriend and ruined it for you, like I always did. So that wasn't the time I told her that you and I. That wasn't the one that I told her that you and I were dating. But that was
no, that was B-Dubs, I think.
Yeah, it was B-Dubs. Yeah. I love telling that story, man. But yeah, that was the one where I sat next and you were like, our bartender's pretty cute. And as she was walking by, I was like, this bartender's cute. And you were like, well, I had a shot and you blew it. And I was like, yeah, she looks like Looney Tunes anyway. You don't need it. No, the B-Dubs one was when you went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, where did and I was like, my boyfriend, he's in the bathroom. And she's like, oh, okay. You got back and you were flirting with her. I didn't tell you. That must have been the most confusing check of her life. I know I eventually told you, but I forgot when. But I remember I was sitting there, man, just giggling the whole time, having a great time because you had no idea. I'm just and I remember I was telling Sam that story, and she's like, "You told me you were your boyfriend?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why?" Because it's funny.
That Buffalo Wild Wings, it was either they thought that we were dating or we were brothers.
Yeah, but the best was when I worked there. There was still some uncertainty. Yeah. So it was like, "Oh, hey, how's your?" And I let them finish. I was like, "Which one are they going to go for?" Because they both start with a B. Yeah. So they were like, "How's your brother?" I was like, "Oh, he's good." Like, just leave it alone. Yeah. And then one guy was like, "I thought it was your boyfriend." I'm like, "He is. She doesn't know what she's talking about." I don't want her to feel bad. Yeah. That was well, you and I ate there all the time because there's always something on, and it was cheap, and it was right there.
And now they're closed. Yep. So
and we're still here kicking. So take that, B-Dubs.
Take that.
You can only play local sports. Even though it's December and you're playing All I Want for Christmas Is You at the middle of a Sunday night football game.
In November.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a Sunday night football game because the Celtics were on. And then there was over and they were playing Mariah Carey. And they wouldn't turn on the Giants game for me. And you came in and made a scene. One of the only scenes I've ever seen you make. You made a scene.
It's an injustice, I tell you.
It was funny. Usually it's me making the scenes for no apparent reason. Just I'm overdue for a scene, so I make one.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up this episode. We've gone on We just went on
over an hour.
Yeah, well, it was over an hour, but we just went for like 10 minutes about.
Oh, the last word of our podcast name is nonsense.
Yeah, that's true. No, there's your nonsense portion for the day, or for the week. So yeah, you can listen. Again, thank you all if you came from the TikTok. We do this once a week. It comes out on Sundays at like 10 o'clock, right before the games start. So you can listen to us talk about the week before, and we can get ready for the next week. You can follow us on TikTok. That's probably where you came from, but you can give us a follow there. And then do me a favor, if you are listening, to give my buddy, our executive producer, a follow on YouTube. It's Name Pending Productions on YouTube. He does a lot of military satire videos. I do a movie podcast on that page as well. And you can watch our videos there. You can also listen to Sports and Nonsense on Spotify, iTunes, Podcast, and CastboxFM. If you're in your car, I listen to podcasts in my car. I don't listen to my podcast in my car because I hate the sound of my own voice. So I
listen to it in the car. That way we have a view.
There we go. Yeah. All right. So that concludes this episode, and we will talk to you all next week. And maybe hopefully we'll have some more TikTok videos up for you guys. So, okay. Thanks for listening.